what's up guys, here we are, the final phase, the final two steps, the home sellers masterclass, where I go through with you the documents as well as the completion of the sale. I decided to combine these two steps into one single video as it's integrated and very relatable to each other. After you're done with this video, you have completed the entire course and you would be able to confidently sell your home. Remember, I'm always here, just a message away. You can drop me a message or phone call from my website. Let's dive right into the details of this last episode. So right now you're at the process where you have accepted a price from the buyer. You want to go about doing the documentation. So I'm going to explain to you in a timeline how this works. First of all, I want to let you know that this timeline is standard, the standard practice. However, things can vary depending on how the negotiation goes about, which I will explain later as well using the clauses in the option to purchase. What happens is that at the start, the buyer would give you the option monies. This would be usually 1% based on the standard, and then you would provide the buyer with the option to purchase, and then there would be a 2 weeks period. 2 weeks. This period is for the buyer typically to get his letter of offer from the bank for the financing and to also decide on his law firm. At the end of the 2 weeks or before, he would exercise the OTP and then pay the remaining option monies of about 4%, depending on what was agreed in the agreement. Okay. Thereafter is the completion phase. Completion phase, the standard is usually about 12 weeks. 12 weeks here. And completion is where you get the monies and the buyer gets the keys. During this completion phase, what you need to do is, as the seller, typically you need to clear the house unless the buyer has specified that they want your furniture with it, which you would then need to negotiate a separate price. During this period, the lawyer would also send their valuer down to do a valuation of the house. So it's a pretty straightforward process. If everything goes well, there shouldn't be any complications, and normally the whole entire process would end in about 14 weeks or about 3 to 4 months. Most important document here is the option to purchase, which is what I'll go into more detail with right away. Okay, this option to purchase is from my company. I would have downloadable templates for you. You just have to click my link below, fill in your email address, I'll send it to you later on. Here in the option to purchase, you indicate your purchaser's details, property known as the address. Here is where you write the consideration sum. Consideration sum, typically, like I said, is 1% received by the seller. And then the option shall expire at 4 p.m. 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later. Okay? To exercise the option, the purchaser shall sign a portion of the option marked acceptance copies and deliver the same to the vendor solicitors with a check of the sum of Singapore dollars. This is where the 4% comes in. As the seller know that besides for the first deposit monies, the 1%, the rest of the money would have to go to your solicitor's conveyancing account. That's how the Singapore government actually protects both parties, protects the buyers from anything going wrong with the sale process. And on page 2, this is where you indicate the sales price. And the purchase should be completed at the office of the vendor solicitors within 12 weeks. As you have seen, many of the dates, the time periods, the amounts that I've mentioned, they are blanks on the form, which can be varied depending on the negotiation. For example, sometimes the buyers, they want to receive the keys, they want to complete earlier, they request for the keys from the sellers faster. So in that case, maybe an earlier completion date. Sometimes they don't need financing for your property and might be paying in full cash, then they will require a shortened option period instead of the usual 14 days. All these are flexible and can vary one side or the other depending on how the negotiation goes during the negotiation process. Finally, on the third page, as the vendors, the sellers, when you hand the option to the buyers, you need to sign here, signature of the vendors, vendor 2 if there's a second buyer. And when the buyer decides to buy, this is the acceptance portion. He will need to exercise at his own solicitor's office and sign here. Yeah, that was pretty straightforward, wasn't it? Now you've come to the end of the 9-step process, the Home Sellers Masterclass. I hope you're confident and ready to go about selling your own home. However, remember, if you need to ask me any questions or would like to engage me personally for my services, you can click below, visit my website, read about me and find out more, and ask me any questions or invite me for one-to-one consultation to talk about your home or any property related matters. Once again, I'm Jim Tay. I come out with new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Remember to click the subscribe button. Appreciate it very much. Take care and I'll see you soon.